It's Don Carruthers here with another series of For Real Talk, a series that I implemented myself. And I hope that these talks inspire each and every one of us to uh, take a look at ourselves. And what I mean by take a look at ourselves, I think about the Michael Jackson song where he talk about the man in the mirror. You have to be able to look in the mirror and look in the mirror and see yourself, see how you create situations, how you handle situations. Uh, I want to talk about anger, keeping self-control. As we know, road rage is on the up, is on the rise, and so many of us are victims of it, and some of us start it every day. We have to realize that everybody's going through things, and to wear your feelings on your sleeve sometimes can cause adverse, disastrous situations. Most of the time, that people are out there and they put you in a road rage situation. In other words, they start a road rage with you. It's usually not about you. We have to quit wearing our feelings on our sleeves, so to speak. We have to realize that we all have problems. Some people have major problems, some have minor problems. But to each of us, our problems are major, just as important, just as to a degree of difficulty as anybody else's. So we have to realize that everybody don't know how to handle certain things. That's why I talk about self-control. Uh, some people get out on the freeway every day. They leave home with, they might have had an argument with their spouse or with their kid or with a relative or a friend before they left home. They left home late, and now they're in a hurry. They're in a hurry. And here you come along, innocent bystander, just have to be passed along at that time. You change lanes in front of them, turn in front of them or whatever, and now you get the full wrath of their frustration, of their anger. That's why you have to take a step back and realize that it's not necessarily about me. And so I need to not take it to that degree. Uh, Communication is a big part of dealing with everyday life. Life is stressful. Some situations are blown way out of proportion. And so we come into every day with a certain degree of temperament already to its level. All it takes that one individual to say something to send you into a tailspin. I hear people say all the time about losing your temper. It's not such thing as losing your temper. You release it on someone. You release your wrath on someone. You never lose your temper because it doesn't go away. You don't lose it. Losing is something you have to find. You have to find it. So that temperament that you have to keep it under control. It goes back to even in the Bible when they talked about control anger. I think it was in Ephesians where they talked about it's okay for your leaders to have control anger. Jesus got upset at the marketplace, and he started turning over tables. That was controlled anger. So control anger is all right in its place. It's when it gets out of control, when you allow it to, you lose your cool altogether. And that's what you got to get away from. We all have problems, and to release your anger and your wrath on someone is really unfair to that individual. So we need to step back, and I think a lot of times we need to just learn how to communicate in all situations. Some communication is difficult. It's one of the most difficult things there is because you're dealing with people of all different walks of life, all different ideologies, all different temperaments. So communication is especially important when it comes to spousal or mate relationships. A lot of marriages and relationships break up because people don't know how to communicate. They hold stuff back. You never want to carry baggage. Baggage will cause you to get to that element where you lose your cool. It turns into resentment, so you need to be able to talk. And if you're dealing with a situation, and sometimes it's not best to talk right then because you might be at a level that you understand it's bad at that time, but you can come back and say, well, let's talk about this later. Let's table this and talk about it later, because you don't want to carry that baggage, because if you carry it too long, remember the old saying that old people used to say, if you let that devil get into it, you don't let that sun go down with that anger. Let that devil have that foothold in that relationship. Then it's hard to get it situated. It's hard to resolve it. And if it goes on for so long, it will turn into resentment. And you don't want to ever have that to happen, because sometimes it has no recourse from that point on. Always talk. Be a talker. I'm a talker. That's why I love doing what I'm doing now. I love talking. And if I have a problem with you or anybody, rest assured, if it's not done right away, I'm going to come to you and say, hey, we need to talk. And you feel a lot better. What you say? You get it off your chest now? Because if you don't, it'll be if you get it off your head now, if not, it'll be on your heart later. And it will. You ever had a situation where you just got mad and you said, well, I should have told him this, I should have told her that. And you go home mad because you know what? You didn't get it off your head. If you get it off your head, then it won't be on your heart later. And trust me, just keep a cool head. When you get in situations where you rattle and you see that that person is just beyond communicating with, then take a step back and table it for later. But always get back to resolving that. You want to resolve that in a situation with people that you know. In road race situations, just don't feed into it, because it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. You don't want it to escalate, because somebody could get hurt or killed. It could be a devastating situation. But if it's a relationship, always try to come back and set it straight. We can always learn to agree to disagree. And I think that's what we need to learn how to do. We all mature adults. We're not going to always see things the same way, but be open to somebody else's opinion. And sometimes you might see stuff in a light that you might have never seen it before. So it's good to be able to sit back and talk and be able to get things off. And it takes away from misconceptions, misunderstandings. Sometimes arguments are just misunderstandings because we don't take the time to think about things and talk them out. Talk about those things. Don't wear the feelings on your sleeve. Be open to other ideas. Don't think you're always right and everybody's always wrong. None of us is always right. We want to think we are, but none of us are always right. So we have to be open to other people's ideas, because everybody's ideas are shaped by what they experience, past experiences. So everybody's past experiences are different. So yours is different from mine, so I'm not going to think like you. So I have to be able to listen to you and talk things through. Think about that, and let's make this world a better place. Less confusion, the more happy people are. Until we talk again, this is Don Carruthers. For real talk. Later.